Management and the training consultant.
Oh.
Boh.
But Ramin, a short translation, Patrick Rollet will be one of the teachers. So he will have a lesson in the Mama program. So we can ask him what he will be teaching.
Okay, fantastic. Now I really want to take that course because I would love to learn from Patrick. So, but if the first year is in, how is Patrick going to manage? Because I believe that's how we started.
Yeah. Chiede come farà, gli farete una traduzione per...
Dice che c'è Andrea.
Allora, vediamo.
Perché non sento più?
Lo vedo. Ok, Mr. Venegoni has joined.
Fantastic.
We are finally live on YouTube.
Here we
Fantastic. Good job.
Gianmario, prova a parlare, scusa.
Buonasera, buonasera Andrea, benvenuto.
Buonasera Gianmario, grazie. Scusate, ma
il
link che avevo non funzionava.
Mi si è abbassato il volume, non sento più. Ma
You don't hear us. Ci senti?
Ti sento lontanissimo. Prima sentivo benissimo.
Prova a uscire e rientrare, magari.
Ah, ok.
All right. So now we wait Corrado to come back, then we are close to... it's 1 past 5. So
there is many people waiting in the room, so let's maybe admit them soon.
When let's see if Corrado comes back.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Okay, let him in.
Okay. So should we, getting ready to start?
Corrado?
Così ti sento, sì.
Okay, brilliant. Ready to start?
Yep.
Yes.
Sì.
Alize?
Yes, I'm ready to.
Let them in.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Gianmario?
Yes.
Okay. I leave people enter the room. Huh?
Good. Thank you.
Sportsvognklubb, Alfa Romeo-klubben, så han har på en måte som har gjort MK spiselig i det miljøet hvor de egentlig skulle vært no-go.
Okay, I'm just going on to our Zoom.
Can everyone turn its microphone off, please? Thank you.
C'è anche Alessandro e Asa.
That's fine. If you do it,
Everyone.
I'll be happy to do it. All right?
Come sono utilizzo un altoparlante differente. Non funziona l'altoparlante.
Pronto? Non so se si sente.
Ti sentiamo, Carla. Di a vedere. Ma non so quale altoparlante. Porca miseria.
Ciao Carla.
Ciao Alizé.
Hello, with speaking.
Ramin?
Yes.
Nå er det 30 Vent litt, 31.
Just be careful with your microphone, please.
Okay. Are we good to go?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon for some of you. I'm Ramin Salaku. I recently succeeded Gautam Sen as the Vice President of Communications for FIVA. I am very honored to be among you tonight. I'm joined by my colleagues, Jean-Mario Mollard, who is the Secretary General of FIVA, and Alize Glavio, who handles all our social media and keeps things going. So I'm very honored tonight to present this very interesting program to you. We are joined by Mr. Corrado Lopresto, who I think there's hardly a person who doesn't know him, and for his collection and his dedication to the preservation of historic vehicles. And we have Professor Andrea Venegoni from the Luke Business School, and who has worked together to put this wonderful program together. Before we start, I want to emphasize one point, and that is the fact that at FIVA, our belief is that we support every academic initiative to preserve and protect historic vehicles. And we're very honored to have this program, which is by one of the most well-known universities in Italy with a very high ranking, and to present this program to you and create an awareness about what they are presenting. And so it's with that, to say it generally, one of the most interesting parts about this program is that it covers a number of disciplines, and it approaches the economic, business, social, and cultural aspects of preserving and protecting and automotive collections and the market as a whole. So if you allow me, I'm going to hand over to my good colleague, Jean-Mario, who'll do more of a deep dive and who's been in contact with our colleagues and has recently attended their open house, and to give you a more broader overview on matters. Jean-Mario, please.
Thank you, Ramin. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to see so many of you around. And indeed, last week I've been to Castellanza, Varese, here in northern Italy, and I had the pleasure of attending the MAMAC Open Day, where this project was presented. So today I have the privilege of sharing with you my impressions of this event, and which has been exciting from many points of view. Not last the fact that there were plenty of a very good attendance and many known faces, very important personalities of the world of historic motoring. The formation offered by MAMAC is pretty unique. Quoting what was said by the Dean Massimiliano Serrati, it's the research of a balance between cultural aspects and economic aspects. Because as he correctly said, I think without culture, you run the risk of reducing the car collection to a mere economic transaction. But without a business formation, you lack important tools that can be useful to the collector. All in all, the MAMAC learning project reminds me of an automobile, because actually it has 4 wheels. And the first wheel is for sure managing skills, which are developed by the university. Then there is a part related to the market, where you study the pricing, the offer, and the demand. The fourth part are technical skills like notions of restoration, maintenance, and so on. And finally, the last wheel is what here at FIVA we like the most, meaning cultural heritage, history, and stories related to cars. Well, this being said, I'll let you decide if this car is front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. But one thing is for sure, the fuel is passion. And this was possible to perceive during the meeting we had last week. A formation conceived in that way surely offers a 360-degree background. But more than that, offers, I think, one thing which is even more important, which is the networking, the possibility of connecting with people with different backgrounds, with different things to teach. And after the presentation, a very interesting panel discussion followed with the 4 personalities of that discussed about the future of automobile collections and so on. The first guest was Andrea Zagato, who described his experience as a car designer nowadays. Then there was Carlo Borromeo from the studio Borromeo de Silva, who provided an interesting insight about the future of car collecting. Then there was Diego Tina, the designer of the Ferrari Testarossa, which I have in my collection here. And finally, the legendary journalist Antonio Ghini. And as I said, it has been really interesting, and now I will leave the floor to Corrado to get a bit deeper in what this school has to offer. Thank you.
Grazie, Gianmario. Thank you very much, Gianmario. I prefer to speak Italian, and Gianmario help me for translator. Thank you.
Good.
Sono Corrado Lopresto, sono un collezionista di auto d'epoca che da più di 40 anni persegue lo scopo di mantenere e di conservare inalterato quello che è la patina e l'originalità della vettura. Mi sono caratterizzato negli anni proprio per questa mia ricerca dell'originalità.
Ok, Mr. Corrado Lopresto introduced himself. He's a car collector, and from over 40 years, he strives to keep the patina and the originality on cars. And this is what is famous, actually.
Diciamo che ho combattuto per tanti anni perché fino a 10-15 anni fa mantenere le condizioni originali dei veicoli era quasi una bestemmia, insomma. Tutto doveva essere perfetto, tutto doveva essere nuovo. E io ero l'unico che a fatica cercavo di mantenere l'originalità a tutti i costi.
So he has been fighting for many years. If you look back at 10-15 years ago and before, everybody used to think that everything should be brand new. And he was the only one striving to in the other direction. But now things changed.
Ricordo che nel 2006 ho fatto un servizio per Auto Build in Germania. Dopo che il giornalista ha fatto un servizio su una mia Bianchi conservata, dopo che è uscito l'articolo ha avuto tantissime critiche che addirittura volevano licenziarlo perché non si poteva presentare una macchina in quelle condizioni. Aveva una patina bellissima, una macchina in Weiman, una roba rarissima, quindi io ero contentissimo, pensavo di aver fatto un grande piacere agli amici tedeschi e invece stavano quasi per licenziare il giornalista.
So Corrado is telling that back in 2006, he had an interview with German Auto Bild magazine, and he presented a car, a Bianchi, which was perfectly preserved, and he thought it was something nice to share. Actually, it turned out the opposite, because the journalist got close to get fired by the magazine for presenting such a car.
Questo era il livello diciamo, sia di conoscenza ma anche di apprezzamento dell'auto d'epoca. E devo dire che negli anni sono stato premiato perché finalmente, anche grazie all'aiuto della FIVA, abbiamo avuto la spinta necessaria affinché questo progetto e quest'idea della conservazione fosse concepito in maniera esemplare il più possibile in tutto il mondo.
So this was to give you an idea of what was the level of knowledge and also the level of appreciation back in time. Then luckily things changed also with the help of FIVA, and now we are looking into a different direction.
Dopo aver fatto più di 400 eventi, concorsi d'eleganza, eccetera, ho capito che era il momento anche di condividere queste conoscenze che io ho appreso, diciamo, in tanti anni di collezionismo, rubando le conoscenze a tutti gli amici, a tutti i conoscenti, ai rivali, fra virgolette, partecipanti ai concorsi d'eleganza, perché ero sempre lì a guardare, a sentire cosa facevano gli altri per migliorarmi. È arrivato il momento, diciamo, di non trasferire le mie conoscenze perché non sono così vanesio, ma mettere a disposizione, e devo dire, arrivato a questo punto, del mondo intero, pensavo fosse una cosa solo italiana, invece può diventare una roba mondiale, quindi mettere a conoscenza di tutto il mondo questa rete di amicizia e di contatti che ho costruito in tanti anni, che mi ha permesso, insieme all'Università Luc di Castellanza, di mettere in piedi questo master. Quindi non grazie a me, ma grazie agli amici che hanno accettato di partecipare a questo master.
Okay, so after attending over 400 events, concurses of elegance and so forth, Corrado thought that it was finally time to share what he has been stealing. He used that word, stealing from his competitors, from other collectors, looking around, reading. And so he decided it was time to share this knowledge and make it available to the whole world, not only initially the idea was only to Italy, but now the breadth of this initiative is getting international. And so he got in contact with the Luc University in Castellanza near Varese, and together they developed this educational offer that he is presenting today.
Devo dire che grandissimi nomi del mondo dell'automobile ci hanno affiancato, mi hanno dato il patrocinio che vuol dire poterli frequentare, poter accedere alle loro conoscenze, ai loro archivi, alle loro fabbriche, ai loro eventi. Quindi abbiamo nomi importanti come Bertone, la carrozzeria Touring, editoriale Domus, l'ACI Milano, Dallara, Ferrari, FIVA, Isotta Fraschini, Museo Cozzi, Museo Nicolis, Pebble Beach, Pininfarina, Sotheby's, Virtus e la Zagato. Questo per fare una serie di nomi che però fanno capire l'importanza dei partners.
Okay, so after launching this initiative, many important names followed Corrado's invitation and gave him support, giving access to their collections, to the factories, to the events. And then Corrado made a long list of partners, which I didn't write fast enough, but I think you heard the names anyway: Bertone, Carrozzeria Touring, Isotta Fraschini, Pininfarina, and also FIVA, of course. That's why we are here today.
Fra i docenti, tantissimi amici hanno aderito con entusiasmo all'idea. Io addirittura, quando ho mandato le email all'inizio, pensavo che su 50-100 email rispondessero in maniera positiva un 10%. Invece devo dire che ho avuto quasi il 90% di adesioni da questi amici che ho contattato.
So, amongst the teachers, there are many people that Corrado considers friends, and he contacted them by sending emails. And initially, when he started sending emails, he thought just the 10% would have replied. But now it turned out the exact opposite. So 90% of the people he invited was happy to join and support.
E ha risposto il 90% perché non ha capito che nel master bisogna fare solo una lezione, non un corso. Quindi magari ho spiegato anche male quando ho chiesto l'adesione, altrimenti avrebbero accettato tutti, perché una lezione di 2 ore, 4 ore o un'ora l'avrebbero fatta tutti.
Okay, he says, and the reason why the 10% didn't agree to his proposal is because they wrongly thought that he was asking to run a whole class for many days, while he's simply asking to have a lesson for 4 hours to each of the teachers. So if they would have understood that, probably they would have joined us.
Cazzo, che sa questi, c'è il signor Lopresto che parla.
Per i nomi, poi magari è un elenco troppo lungo, ma ci sono tutti i più bei nomi del design, del mondo degli eventi, del mondo della cultura internazionale. Quindi i nomi dei docenti, a parte Patrick che è qui presente, che saluto, immaginatevi i più bei nomi del nostro mondo. Ecco.
Okay, so Corrado is sparing me a long list of names, but he said that imagine the best names of design, event organization, culture, and he also greeted Patrick Rollet, who is a former FIVA president, FIVA honorary member, and he's with us tonight, and he will be one of the teachers. So maybe later he can tell us something about what he's gonna teach.
Il master è fatto da 4 moduli, 2 moduli sono seguiti da me e con queste persone, questi personaggi e questi partners. Gli altri 2 moduli sono fatti dall'università, dal Dipartimento della Business School, e qui abbiamo Andrea Venegoni, il professor Venegoni, che adesso ci spiega la parte economico-finanziaria legata a questo master, che è la novità, diciamo, di questo corso, che è l'unione della cultura automobilistica con la finanza e l'economia.
All right, so the master is divided in 4 parts. 2 parts are developed directly by Corrado Lopresto and by the teachers that he mentioned before. The other 2 parts will be developed by the Luke University, which is here represented by Professor Andrea Venegoni, who will now lead us into the more economical part of this educational offer.
Thank you, Gianmarco and Corrado. I'm pleased to be here, and thank you to FIVA for having invited us. I am glad to have the possibility to explain a little bit more in detail the program that we have developed, and to answer also to some of the questions that I have already read in the chat. But if you allow me, I will come to them later at the end of my speech. Initially, I will just give you an overview of the program, and I liked a lot the similarity used by Gianmarco. So the fact that the program has 4 modules that can be represented by the 4 wheels of a car, and as the 4 wheels of a car, we have 2 sets of modules. One that is more about technical and cultural topics about the sector, about classic cars, and so that will deep dive into the technicalities of design, collections, keeping, restoration, and the cultural heritage connected to classic car collection, and 2 others that are more about management and economics. So why we decided to include in such a program about classic cars topics that are related to management and economics. This comes from the fact that this sector has evolved a lot in the last years. Just to give you 2 figures, the number of cars traded, exchanged in car auctions more than doubled in the last 10 years. And also, for what concerns the values, the economic values of the car collections and the price of cars, of classic cars, they represent the asset class between the collection asset class, so arts, wine, old currencies, and old collectibles, which values have grown the most in the last decade. And so we are experiencing, this sector is experiencing growth both in volumes and in values. And as any sector that experiences a growth, it's evolving. And this evolution calls for new knowledge, new competencies, new instruments, and both in technical terms, but mostly in under a management and economics point of view. So the program is structured to come in handy to help the figures, the professional figures that already work in the sector, are involved in the sector, in order to complement their knowledge, their competencies on both sides, but especially under the management and economics point of view. So we have spotted as professional figures that are involved in the sector right now, mainly 3 of them. So collectors, specialists and technicians, so designers, restorators, and so on, and professionals of related sectors like auction curators, intermediaries, event organizers. And in order to give them the skills that the evolution of the sectors that I was trying to figure out for you briefly, to sketch out for you briefly, require, we have come up with these 2 modules of management and economics in order to improve also the skills of them in these under this perspective. So the first modules of the program will be about management and market trends and dynamics. For what concerns management, we will teach the features of management that are of particular interest to collectors and to people that operate in the car collection, in the historic car collection sector. And so there will be elements of business strategies for car collection, principle of classic car sector marketing, so marketing but declined in the classic car sector, something about accounting, and so the peculiar features of accounting that distinguish and represent are peculiar to this sector, and some business and market analytics that come in handy when dealing with classic cars. And then in the part related to the market trends and dynamics, this would be more about the analysis of how the demand and supply of classic cars evolve, how the market evolves in terms of how the dynamics of buying and selling cars are evolving, how does a car auction works, and which are the features that are changing in time, the features that concern the economic valuation of classic car collections, and also something about event management and tourism marketing, because a classic car collection can also become an asset under a touristic point of view. So this is what we will cover in the management and economics modules of the course. So we will do it just to tell you something also about which is the approach that features the master programs of the LIUC Business School. the course is a lot personalized and customized, because we think that the executive education, the executive training, has a value when it is tailored on the individual's necessities, needs, and requirements. And so, along with the standard lectures, we can say, there will be a lot of moments dedicated to each participant, in each of which each participant can have a private lecture, private moment, a private discussion with a selected lecturer, a selected teacher, to develop, to deep dive in the topics that are of highest interest for him, her. And also another important, relevant feature of the program that Corrado also mentioned before is the experience. It implies a lot of experiential moments, visits to collections, to museums, to factories, and interaction with notable figures and professional people that are operating in the sector, like the ones that were present in the last Saturday's event and that Gianmarco mentioned before. Now, not to be too long and leave space also to questions, I start with answering to something that I have already read in the chat. So for now, the first edition of this course of the master that will start on March 8th, so in a little bit more than a month, will be in Italian. So we'll be here on campus and in Italian, but this is just the beginning, we can say. Then also after the interactions, our dialogue with FIVA, we are planning to set up an English online also version of the master in order to, how can I say, to help to facilitate the participation also of people that are not living in Italy and do not speak Italian. The structure will be different, probably is something that we are already projecting and setting up, but probably it will imply a set of online meetings and then a final 2-3 weeks here on campus in order to not to discard the experientiality and the participation to events and the visit to factories and collections. So this is what we are setting up, and what will be communicated will come soon and be communicated in some weeks from now. Another important thing to make clear is that this is not a master degree. It does not give you ECTS, but it's an executive master. Okay, so it's executive training. It does not have a legal value of the degree. It's not a degree in itself, but it's just a course, a master program. That's what I have read. These are the answers to the questions that I have read until now. If there are any others, I will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Andrea. Ramin. Audio.
Where is Ramin?
Audio.
Sorry about that. So before we go on, I just want to mention that we are very honored that we have the FIVA president, Mr. Tito Bresters, here with us tonight, our esteemed vice president, Natasha Grom, and also our president emeritus, Mr. Patrick Roulet, who will also be teaching at the course. So welcome, and we're very honored to have the three of you with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so if having said that, I'd like to open the floor for questions and answers, and we can maybe start a dialogue and discussion, and we can begin to mention any questions that you have about the program, about the content, everything. I think the gentlemen are here to answer your questions tonight. So the presentation was so good, there are no questions? So this is obvious, of course, we're taking, yes. So would you mind if I started with a question?
Very good.
Yes, Professor, there's been like a paradigm shift in the way the auctions are being changing. We have the companies like Bring a Trailer, who are now expanding to Europe, and they're bringing their new business model, which is very successful, and they're growing not only exponentially but also globally. And I'm wondering, in the course, how do you address these new dynamic changes which are taking place in that sector?
Yeah, you see, there is a whole module about this. The one that I have mentioned before, the second one, we can say, that is called Market Trends and Dynamics, will be dedicated to discussing and presenting these new trends and evolutions of the market. So in any aspect, so in the changing of the demand, the change and evolution of the supply, the change in the way in which classic cars are traded, so the auctions and other private forms of trading. So yes, these will all about new dynamics and new forms of how can I say, of running the business. And because what we have appreciated is that the sector is really experiencing how can I say, a dramatic and important change that is also a quick one. And there is the need to dedicate the right time. So an amount of lectures that is not negligible to the discussion of it, also because if we want to, as it is the aim of the course, to form professional figures that are up to the challenge of the evolution of the sector, it's something compulsory to address the new trends and the new aspects that will characterize the sector itself. I hope to have answered in a satisfactory way to your question.
I have a question. Can you hear me? This is John Blymeyer.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the Motorcycle Commission from the United States. And my question relates to how would we compare this program to either a Master of Business Administration or a Master of Public Administration? So here in the United States, there is a different type of program for people who are going to be working for commercial businesses and get an MBA, or people who work for public enterprises and get an MPA, a Master of Public Administration. So I wonder if you have a reaction to that question.
Yeah, this is something more similar to an MBA. Okay, so it's how can I say? It's targeted to people, to professionals that will work in the private sector. So it's for when I before labeled it an executive master, what I meant is something like an MBA. I say something like because in Italy we have some slightly different features, but to give you a representation that is quite a good one, an approximation, it's like what in the US you label as an MBA.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What else? Maybe? Fabien? from France, like me. I know you were very interesting about the program. Do you have any question? Something to say?
Gianmario.
Gianmario.
Sì. Chiediamo a Patrick che cosa vuole lui fare come lezione.
Good idea, Corrado.
Yeah.
Good idea. So, Patrick, you have a question now from Corrado, and he's asking, what is your plan for the future lesson you're going to have at Mama?
Turn on your microphone. Yeah, okay.
Of course, this has to be fine-tuned, but I was thinking of sticking to the basics of FIVA. FIVA had several mottos over the ages. One was yesterday's vehicles on tomorrow's roads. If you take word after word, what does it exactly mean? What is a historic vehicle? Because what is old is not necessarily historic. You see that sort of discussion we can have with the students. Authenticity, preservation, restoration, and Corrado is a world master in that, and so on. On tomorrow's roads, nothing is to be taken for granted. FIVA and all the national federation and national clubs are fighting every day with opinion leaders to make sure that there is no rules, no regulation, no legislation against our vehicles. And then FIVA moved recently to a different motto, which is much larger, which is to protect, preserve, and promote our national and world heritage, because that is outward. It goes to the people, to the general public, and that's culture behind it. It's a new dimension. So I think I would structure my talk around that, if Corrado agrees, of course.
Thank you,
Bene,
Patrick.
thank you, Patrick. Avremo modo poi di approfondire tutti gli elementi. Grazie.
Good.
Anyone else? Eventually.
Since everybody is quiet, I would ask a question to Corrado. Corrado, so until now we talked about what can be taught in a classroom. And so my question to you is, what cannot be taught in a classroom? Traduco, fino adesso abbiamo parlato di quello che si può insegnare durante questo master. Adesso ti chiedo, cosa pensi che non possa essere insegnato invece?
Beh, io penso che dalla cerchia di conoscenze e di amici che interverranno, tutte le attività verranno sviscerate, verranno, come dire, studiate in maniera così approfondita che grazie anche al contributo dei partecipanti sono sicuro che, perché questo master sarà anche costruito ad hoc per ogni partecipante, qualunque esigenza, qualunque richiesta verrà esaudita e all'interno delle energie e dei professori che parteciperanno sono sicuro che ci sarà il più grande ventaglio possibile dal punto di vista culturale e finanziario sul mondo delle automobili da collezione.
Okay, so Corrado replied that given the wide range of people that will be attending and the different expertise is available, there will be no question that will remain unanswered. So it's very promising, I would say.
Jean-Mario, do you mind if I follow up on that question?
Absolutely.
I would be very interested to know if to qualify for this program, is there any kind of specific academic background that would be needed to be admitted to this program, or
Leo,
I answer to that. No, being it not a master degree, but something like an MBA, an executive program, there is not a specific academic background requirement. The admission is conditional to the evaluation of a university committee based on the curriculum vitae, on the CV. So we evaluate the CV of the wannabe participants, and we select the participants on that basis. I take the occasion also, if you allow me, to answer to a question that I read in the chat that asks how often and how long are the lessons with physical presence in Milano. In the program that will start in March, so the first edition in Italian, the lectures will be 3 weekends out of 4 any month. So 3 weekends a month, the Friday evening and Saturday morning. Sorry, but in this way I answered also to the chat.
Tido would like to have a word. Tido, your microphone is off.
Now it's better.
Turn it on.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Alize. Thank you, Ramin. And of course, thank you, Mr. Professor and Corrado. I'm very honored to be present in this video meeting. I'm sorry that I had to arrive a little bit later because I'm visiting a fair in Bremen, Germany, a classic car fair. I'm really very happy, of course, about your initiative. I have a question, actually, maybe 2 questions, if I may do so. The first question is, are you aware of a, let's say, a similar program in other art, in other categories of culture? Because I think what you do is trying to bring our, let's say, interest for classic cars to a higher level of cultural appreciation. So do you know about something like this for maybe collecting paintings or something else? Second question, because as you know, FIVA is very much oriented at authenticity, and how far the quest for authenticity will be part of your program. As I think authenticity is also something that really adds to the value of the vehicle. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks to you for the questions. Go on following the order in which you made it. For what concerns our knowledge of similar courses about other collectibles, other collecting goods, we know that there is something like that, more or less, something that can be deemed similar for what concerns arts and paintings. So for a class of assets that which growth happened years ago, so it's more mature compared to classic cars. Something has been made, but very, very few programs are like that. We for sure know that this is the first for what concerns classic cars. And instead, for what concerns your second question, there will be surely also a course, a short course, a weekend dedicated to authenticity and the methods and the techniques to recognize the authenticity of both cars and parts of cars.
Okay. Io, Gianmario, volevo ringraziare il presidente Tido per intanto la presenza, ma anche per l'adesione, devo dire, entusiastica a questo progetto. Fin da subito FIVA ha aderito a questo master, proprio perché ha capito che l'importanza dell'autenticità e della originalità delle auto d'epoca, come nel mondo dell'arte, è importante per l'istituzione che rappresenta, ma è anche importante per me e per quello che voglio trasmettere. Quindi diciamo che un ringraziamento particolare va alla FIVA per partecipare e dare questo suo imprimatur a questo corso. Grazie.
So Corrado was thanking Tito Bresters, our president, for being present tonight, but also for the support that FIVA granted to this initiative since the very beginning. And he thinks that this is a very good cooperation, and he stressed the importance of authenticity and originality inside the program, because it's also very important for himself. And so these aspects will be developed in detail.
Abbiamo fra i docenti tantissimi personaggi importanti che ci possono aiutare a trasmettere questa cultura per la ricerca dell'originalità, per il mantenimento dell'originalità e per cercare di seguire le tecniche possibilmente più conservative per il mondo del restauro. Quindi ci saranno dei docenti importanti, importantissimi, che ci aiuteranno a trasmettere questa cultura.
So he says that there will be several teachers, several important people in the world of historic motoring who will help to pass over to future generation the importance of originality and the importance of seeking authenticity. Okay.
So I do have a question. I don't know if I can just jump in here.
Yes, we hear you, Mr. Nduni.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Brian Nduni from Tampa, Florida. I'm very, very interested in this program. But my question is the program strictly classroom focused, or is there a hands-on aspect such as restoration and or technical maintenance? And by the way, I'm very happy to hear that the focus is on authenticity when I do my restorations. That is my 100% focus is authenticity. So I'd be interested to see if there's a technical aspect such as restoration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Andrea?
Yeah, for sure it is. In what we said are the more specific and dedicated to the sector modules, the third and fourth. There will be also some weekends that are dedicated, as also Corrado was mentioning before, to restoration and preservation techniques of cars and the components of the cars. So absolutely yes. If you want, sorry, I'm still reading the chat. Always Mr. Nduni was asking if the can be available as syllabus of the course. Yes, we can make it available.
Any other question?
I have a question about if there will be a title of after the master as a diploma or something like this, recognized by, I don't think by FIVA or by the Italian Ministry of Education, Culture.
No, as I said, it's not a master degree. It doesn't have a title. It doesn't give to the participant a title that has a legal validity as our master degree or bachelor degree in Italy that has a legal value recognized by the minister, but is more like an MBA. So it's something that in our intention will have a appreciable value and impact on the CV, on the curriculum vitae of the professionals, like an executive MBA. It's something that has not in Italy at least a legal value, but it's something that gives a lot of credit, has a lot of value for the career of professionals, of managers. So that's what at the moment this master gives you. and it will give you a diploma, but diploma is not a legal value.
Thank you, Andrea. We have another question in the chat about the costs. How much does it cost?
Okay, in this version, in the first edition in Italian, so in the current version, the quota is 12,000 euros plus the VAT.
Thank you. Any raised hand?
No. No.
Jean-Mario, do you mind if I jump in?
Please.
Yes. I'm very curious to know, because usually the most of the universities also provide access for companies and businesses and maybe collectors to come recruit the graduates. Do you foresee such a program so that when people graduate from this program, you would also help to place them with jobs in the collector automobile sector? Would you see something like that taking place, that you would help them after they graduate to enter the job market specifically in this sector?
Well, we have, as a university, as a business school, we have our placement office that follows all our students, including the students of this master. But I think that the most valuable opportunity that this master provides is the networking, is the connection of all the professional and the very high profile experts that will attend the lectures, will teach in the course. So I think that the opportunities of future careers, the placement opportunities will arise as the network is made throughout the lectures, the encounters, the events, and knowing all the people that us and mainly Corrado will take to our lectures.
Yes, I have a question here. It's Hugo Moderman speaking. Is there any coordination or contact with the REV Institute at Stanford University?
No, actually, currently no.
Maybe it's an idea to see what they started in 2011, and they have courses for students focusing on the archaeology and the history of motor cars, but they also focus on restoration together with the RES Institute in Naples, Florida. So I think it's an idea to see what they are doing and see if there are any ways of cooperation and learn from the experience they've had so far.
Yeah, surely we can explore it. Thank you for the suggestion.
Maybe you can exchange contact now with you go in the chat and see if you can create a link together afterwards.
Yes, you can always reach out for us, and if you have specific questions, we will certainly address them to the Luke University, to Mr. Lopresto, if you tomorrow or any other time you have some specific question. Oh, we got another interesting question from the chat, which is, what is the target group? Collectors only?
No, thank you for the question, because it's something that has to be specified. Probably I mentioned it before, but probably too quickly. No, all the professionals that are working in the sector and around the historic car collection. So surely the collectors and people that are working in the collectors organization, when we are speaking about big collections, also specialists and technicians. So we can say designers, museum curators, financial analysts, mechanical engineers, restorers, and what we have labeled, what we call the professionals of related sectors. So event organizers, people that are working for auction, so auction curators, intermediaries, and also marketing experts. So as you can see, a wide range of professionals can benefit from this course and are the ones that this course targets.
Okay, it's almost the time, and except if someone has another question to ask, we are about to close the session. Oh, Tito has something to say, and I can see Roger after, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Tito first, please,
Yeah.
and then.
Yeah. I don't say that we have to stop this session, but I want to say that, as all of you know, next week we have the Retromobile exhibition in Paris, the Retromobile show, and I'm happy to look forward to see many of you there. I am sure that many of you indeed will make the trip to Paris, and I also can say that I believe that maybe Mr. Venegoni, but probably, well, certainly Mr. Corrado Lopresso as well will be there. So I think there will be some more options to have some further exchange on this subject. And of course, there's still a lot of questions, but I think this is a good way of cooperating and bringing indeed, I think it's a kind of a contribution to bringing our passion for historic vehicles to higher levels of recognition. So I thank you as well for that aspect. Thank you.
Absolutely, Tito, and we will also welcome Corrado. You have all the details in the pages, the FIVA pages. You will be there for a special ceremony as well, directly on the booth. Maybe Andrea too. I hope so. And Roger, do you still have your question?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I was just wondering what sort of numbers you're expecting to put through. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to try and get a more professional view across the industry. But I just wondering how large a cohort are you looking to get through the course?
Okay, for this first edition, as we have imagined and designed it, we want to stay on little numbers, so no more than 20-25 participants, in order to maximize the experience when we bring the participants to events, to the visits. And then for the online version that we are figuring out, that we are thinking about in these weeks, maybe something bigger, higher numbers, but yes, still not too big cohorts, because this, in our opinion, will reduce the quality of what we teach and try to transmit to participants, and is not what we want. We want to keep it as an elite, high-level, master high-level course. For this, we are imagining many, how can I say, many editions. So.
Thank you for your question, Roger, and for your reply, obviously. Okay, Gian Mario, maybe a small reminder about also the link tree and the possibility to be part of the newsletter. If people want to join, you can share directly into the conversation your email, name, of course, first name, last name, and we will add you on the list. And in the meantime, you can also connect through social media platform, almost all of them now. So yes, FIVA Classic on Instagram, and FIVA, Fédération Internationale des Véhicules Anciens in French, sorry. but it's in French. And yes, you can follow us and send a direct message. We will reply by email and also by private messages. I can see Edin. We have access to the. Yes, you will. It's a broadcast on YouTube channel right now, and we will upload the session on Meta platforms as well. So you will have the whole session online available. Edin, I hope I pronounce well your name. No problem. You're welcome. And also Gael gave us his name and email address, Gian Mario, but I will send it to you after the session. Is Corrado still there or no to say goodbye? I don't see him. Corrado, are you?
Yes.
Thank you. If you want to say a word, and maybe Ramin too, I add you. Say goodbye. Not my favorite part, but we'll see each other very soon during Retromobile.
Okay.
Okay.
Corrado, una parola di saluto?
Sì. Devo dire che sono molto soddisfatto per questa nostra unione, questo vostro appoggio, perché ha dato un aspetto internazionale a quello che doveva essere una cosa solo italiana, sembrava piccolina, ma grazie a questa partnership con l'istituzione, la FIVA, che negli anni abbiamo tutti seguito appassionatamente. Devo dire che è stato un grande successo, vi ringrazio e ci vedremo a Parigi allo stand, al vostro stand, mercoledì alle 17. Grazie.
Okay, so Corrado said that he's very happy to have the support of FIVA because this support gave an international flavor to an initiative that initially was conceived only for an Italian environment, and now it will be available worldwide. And so he thanks you all for your attention, and he looks forward to meeting you in Paris Retromobile, where we will have a booth, and we look forward to meeting you there. Thank you.
Ramin, please.
Yes, I just wanted to add to what Corrado said. I think tonight shows what a global family FIVA is. We had participants from the United States, Latin America, Middle East, Australia, Europe, all over the world. And I think that shows really what a global family we are and how united we are in our passion. And I think, and I hopefully this will be one of the main contributions to this program, that FIVA will bring its global reach. So I'd also like to thank each and every one of you for taking part in tonight's meeting and joining us. And we look forward to seeing you at Retromobile and in the next chat rooms and the FIVA events, which we have a very busy year this year. So we look forward to seeing each and every one of you, and thank you for joining us so much.
I'm also sharing with you the details. You will have, the publication directly. You have the links through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn publication. Also a link through the program online from the university directly. And we did a link tree as well. You have it in all our bio. You can upload our media kit for Retromobile and see what is inside, and ask also question directly by email or through social media again. And you have also Ramin contact inside it, so don't hesitate to reach out and come visit us very soon in Paris. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gian Mario, for your Italian translation.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Grazie, Gian Mario.
Thank you so much.
È un piacere.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a
tutti.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Have a nice evening.
Yes.
Enjoy Retromobile, everybody. Yeah.
See you.
See you.
Ciao Andrea. Ciao.
Ciao, Corrado.
See you.
Ciao, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Au revoir, Ronnie, à la semaine prochaine. Ciao, Carla. I close the session. Bye, Ramin.
Okay.
Bye, Patrick. Au revoir.
Good night,
Merci,
everybody.
Denis.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.